Hello, I'm Johnny Rowland, host of The Shooting Show. We appreciate you taking a moment to watch this tape. What we have is, some of you may be familiar with our 460 Rowland cartridge. Now, what the 460 is a true Magnum performing cartridge that is the same overall length as a 45 ACP. Here on your left is a 45 ACP, and here's our 460 on the right. Realize that the overall length is the same, but our 460 case is a 1/16 of an inch longer to discourage anyone from trying to put this in a gun that had not been properly modified for it. We also have a much stronger web here in the case head than in the 45 ACP, while both use standard 45 ACP magazines, which is a real simple and effective way of using our 460. Since January of 1999, we've been chambering our 460 Rowland in a number of different guns. Here is the factory Dan Wesson. Also, we have Kimber Compacts, full-size 1911s, as well as Ruger Blackhawks and an AR-15. It uses the standard 45 ACP loading dies, so all one has to have is a properly chambered gun, properly set up gun, and our specially made brass, which is available from Starline. Incidentally, we have factory ammunition that's been available since January from Georgia Arms in Villa Rica, Georgia, which is, they've certainly become an important ammunition manufacturer. This is a very simple proposition that offers a power and performance level that has never been available in the guns that we offer it in. Which brings us to the point of this particular videotape. Smith & Wesson makes one of the nicest packages that is a candidate for our gun. In fact, we have successfully been converting these guns since last fall to our 460 Rowland cartridge. This is your 625 model, or the model of 1989, and here we have two versions, one with a 5-inch barrel and one with a 3-inch barrel, and this makes one of the nicest combinations for our particular gun because we get 44 Magnum power or better, but with much less blast and recoil, and of course we get to use these great full moon clips, which is the ultimate speed loader in these tremendous 625 guns. Now, some might be concerned about the bottom of the bolt cut here as far as strength of this cylinder. Realize that this is made of the very same steel as your Model 29 Smith & Wesson, and we have an added bonus. On our 460 Rowland case, the web is very, very thick in this portion here, which in fact is just under the bolt cut, so you have very, very thick webbing in the case to protect the bolt cut from any sort of damage. And plus, we're running at 39 or 40,000 cup, and these cylinders are proof tested at much, much higher than that. This really makes an excellent combination. There are all sorts of advantages for our 460 Rowland cartridge, one of which is our 460 guns can still utilize for inexpensive and low recoil practice the 45 ACP cartridge in the revolvers as well as the semi-automatics. Let's do something now. Let's just do a little demonstration of what our 460 is about. We have our chronograph set up over here, and we have a 45 ACP loaded first in the magazine. Let's see what the standard 45 does through the chronograph here this afternoon. Let's try the 45 ACP. Pretty good performance for a standard 45 ACP load. Let's try our 460 now. Okay, we have 1,545 feet per second, which is about what our standard load is going to do out of the 1911. Now then, we have one of our new 625s converted to our 460, and of course we're going to lose a little bit of velocity because of the barrel cylinder gap. But let's check the 45 ACP first through the chronograph. Okay, 815 for the revolver. Let's try our 460. Okay, 1513. Now what this means is the revolvers really don't give up much in the way of performance as compared to our auto with the closed, certainly with the closed barrel, 5-inch barrel on the auto. And we have 44 Magnum performance. In fact, that is at least as strong as a 4 or 5 inch 44 Magnum will do with the 180 grain bullet, with much less recoil, much less muzzle blast. But a nice surprise that we had was the 3 inch 625. Let's look at it through the chronograph. We have a 45 ACP loaded first, then we have a full charge 460 behind it. Okay, 775 for the 45 ACP. Now let's try our 460 up next. Okay, 1429, which for a 3 inch barrel gun is pretty fantastic for a 185 grain bullet. What we have here is a 3 inch model 625 with much less recoil than we would think, outperforming your 44 Magnum backpacker in a small, very easy to carry package. We have had tremendous luck this year with these guns. We've done quite a number of the 625s. What we would like to see is, under license, the possibility of you folks at Smith & Wesson making a factory 460 gun. Let me show you how this translates to real power in the real world. We have some water bottle targets here. Let's see what happens with the regular 45 ACP. Certainly performs as well as what we would expect a 45 to do. Now then, same gun, our 460 cartridge. Watch the other water bottle. Not the same thing. Another added bonus for the 625 revolver is these guns do not show particularly good accuracy across the board with most 45 ACP loads. But when we give them velocity through our 460, watch what happens. Target out here at a few yards. You know, I think I need to adjust those sights just a little bit. As I said, these guns are showing phenomenal accuracy that the normal 625 and 45 ACP simply can't do. It's later in the afternoon, so you may be able to see some muzzle flash. Our accurate number 7 that we use in our factory loads on our 460 are very low flash powders. But let's take a look. Here's the recoil we would be expecting from the 44 Magnum 4 inch revolver. Watch my hands this afternoon. Large muzzle flash, a lot of recoil, difficult to shoot accurately fast. Where we can take our 460 and watch the difference in recoil with more power. Not nearly as severe. Low muzzle flash, easily controlled. In fact, easier controlled than, say, a 4 inch 357 Magnum. Less blast, less muzzle flash, much more power, almost double the power of a 357 Magnum, more power than a 41 or a 44 Magnum, less recoil, less noise. And here is a model that we have ported the barrel on. Watch the muzzle jump. Again, we're talking about loads that are running around 1,500 feet per second or so, even with the ported barrel. Watch this. Easily controlled, over 900 foot-pounds of muzzle energy per shot. Just a fabulous combination. One that I think you folks would certainly be willing to take a look at in a mountain gun, or even in the guns you have. It would only take a few minutes more, under license from us, of course, to produce these guns. You're already making the gun, and what we would have is a Magnum performance revolver, much less kick, much less muzzle blast, loads with these full moon clips, very quick, simple loading, and a compact size, a power level that's never been available. Let's talk about it. Give me a call here at the program, area 318-377-5189. Let's see what we can do. We could sell out a run such as your distributor runs 3,000 guns in our 460 Rowland cartridge. We could sell them out overnight. Also, you still have the capability of shooting the 45 ACP and the 45 auto rim in our gun. So it's a very, very happy and pleasant combination. One of the ultimate guns for defense, for police use, what anyone would use, a Magnum revolver, but they would like to have less perceived recoil and noise, and certainly a power level that will do just about anything you can ask of a handgun. Another exciting development we have, one of the neatest guns that we've yet done. This is the Smith & Wesson 4506, and this gun has built a reputation for reliability, for dependable performance, and guess what? We've converted it to our 460 Rowland cartridge through our good friends at Clark Custom Guns, and this is exciting. This is a package that you folks could offer from the factory. Certainly we are going to be offering these packages, but this would be a great thing for you folks to consider. We have some frozen water bottles here. It was cold here on the range last night. We've got about 3 feet of ice, and we're going to use one of our 460 full metal jacket bullets here. And what we're going to show you on this portion of the tape is part of our shooting show that's going up. We're talking about your 4506 this week on the shooting show, and we hope you enjoy it. I think it will be enlightening. We're going to use the full metal jacket 230 grain bullet. This is running about 1,350 feet per second out of our full-size Smith & Wesson here in 460. Let's see what it does on this 3 feet of ice in these frozen water bottles. I tell you what, friends, looking at the ice cubes falling out of these things is pretty amazing. The shocking power as well as the penetration. That was over 3 feet of mostly ice. But the 230 grain flat point jacketed bullet is just a remarkable penetrator, and we recommend this bullet on the larger game animals. Now, we had someone take an elk in Colorado using a 200 grain Hornady XTP, but I personally think that's not enough bullet. I'd much prefer the 230, and for protection against the certainly dangerous animals like wild hogs, or for lion, or certainly in the case of bear, you'll have remarkable penetration with that 230 grain full metal jacket bullet. It's just amazing what it'll do. And let me tell you, the performance in this new Smith & Wesson conversion is just downright remarkable. Looking at this Smith & Wesson 4506, friends, these are really nice guns. Smith & Wesson in the last few years, their quality control by and large has just been superior. Everywhere that the machining is supposed to be flat, it is. Everywhere it's sharp, it is. Where it's supposed to be rounded, it is. And of course, this is the compensator that Clark Custom Guns has fitted to this gun, and the Smith & Wesson is roughly the same size as our Kimber 1911, almost the same size. However, it does have some important differences, one of which is, and we know this gun is empty. There we go, we have an empty magazine, and you know me, I check them 3 times. Anyway, the difference here is, we'll put it on fire there, and it has a decock, which is you manipulate by applying the safety. See, it decocks, and this is a very safe system, one that's been used for a number of years very successfully by Smith & Wesson. Now, on the double action semi-auto, what we have is you push your safety off, and the first shot is fired from the hammer down position. And Smith & Wesson has a very smooth, very nice double action trigger pull. Now then, on succeeding shots, of course, the next shots will be fired single action. The trigger will be in the rearward position, and again, they've got a really good single action trigger pull on these guns. These guns are very robust, very strong. Remember, they were offered at one time in the 10 millimeter. Let me tell you, the old 10s, when they first came out, were pretty fire-breathing cartridges. Of course, not approaching our 460, but for a standard auto pistol, the 10 millimeter was no joke, let me tell you. And this gun, of course, has been fitted with the Clark Custom Guns kit. And I don't know if we're going to continue the underlug portion here on the compensator. Clark's did this for aesthetics. We certainly could have a regular compensator like on our 1911 model, but this is such a nice combination. Recoil is very low. Look at these very superior sights. All I can say, they're just superior sights, because from the rear it actually reflects light here, easy to see, and if you don't like this sight, it's easy to replace. These are among, certainly in my opinion, among the very finest guns of their type, the double action semi-autos, and we are so pleased that we can convert this and use this great platform now for our 460 Rowland cartridge. The controls are in the same place as the 1911, and I tell you, Smith & Wesson has really done their homework on magazines. They have a reputation for reliability with the factory magazines, which is more than a lot of other makers of guns can say. It has a similar locking arrangement to the Browning, and of course when the slide comes back under recoil, watch the barrel drop down, there it is, and when it has a locking lug that goes in the recess here in the slide. When the slide comes back, of course the barrel comes down, it unlocks, and of course the slide continues to the rear, ejects the empty hull, and reloads a fresh one from the magazine. Now then, the way these things work with our compensator and our 460 kit, due to the pressures pushing down on the muzzle, this keeps the barrel and slide locked together for a longer period of time. When I'm pushing down on this muzzle, you can't retract the slide, but only come back so far. It will not unlock. So what this does, it lengthens the time for unlocking on the gun, and the gun can't cycle until the pressures drop to a manageable level. This is how, see, in the Smith & Wesson, we don't even change recoil springs in this particular gun. It is stainless steel. We don't have to call to change the recoil spring. This is just the neatest package that anyone who likes this type of gun could ever hope to get. The principle is the same for the 4506 Smith & Wesson as for our 1911. You can still shoot the 45 ACP loads. Remember, you can't shoot our 460 in a standard 45, but you can shoot the 45s in our 460, because these guns actually head space on the extractor. I know they're supposed to head space on the case mount. They really head space on the extractor. And let me give a brief demo. We've got several 45 ACPs loaded here, and let's watch it in my hands, and then we have several of the 460s loaded in the same magazine. Watch the muzzle climb. This is, in fact, for reasons I'm not exactly sure about, even though our 1911s don't have that much recoil, nothing like what we would expect from a 44 Magnum of this size, the Smith & Wesson 4506 has a little bit less recoil than the 1911. I'm not exactly sure why. There may be an engineering reason there that I'm not aware of. I'm sure that's what it is, but let's watch the standard 45 in my hands, followed with some 460s. Here we go. See, not enough recoil to even worry about. Now then, our 460, not a huge difference in muzzle jump. Our 460 cartridge is the most versatile handgun and carbine cartridge that's ever been. It will do just about anything that you can ask of a handgun can be done, or it can be done with the 460 conversion, our 460 cartridge, on one of these great guns. We hope you folks at Smith & Wesson have enjoyed our little demonstration here. These are really selling well for us in the standard 1911 and the other guns we have, the revolvers and the carbines that we have. We think that this 4506 would be an excellent candidate for our 460 cartridge. It has all of the attributes that a lot of people are looking for, and especially some of the police units that are uncomfortable carrying the cocked and locked 1911 types. This 4506 will do it all. It's showing superior performance. We're going to be offering this as a package through Clark Custom Guns but we would certainly like to talk to you folks about licensing Smith & Wesson to make these. We think it will be a tremendous addition. We're easy to work with. Certainly give us a call here at the shooting show or call Jim Clark at Clark Custom Guns. We'll be very pleased to talk to you. Hope to see you folks at the SHOT Show. And again, we hope you've enjoyed our demonstration on our 460 Rowland cartridge.